All right, well, good morning. And here is another project vehicle. So, the wife saw this on Marketplace, actually a quarter mile down from where we live. We were not looking for one, but it runs and drives. You can see it's running. This is a 2001 Ford Excursion Limited 4x4 with the old V10, Triton V10. So this is, I think we got a pretty good deal on it. Kind of show you, she's running. Everything's looking good. No lights on the dash. Does have an aftermarket DVD player, which wasn't exactly installed in the best way, but it's like you replace one light with an LED light. Everything else is there. It does have a VHS player. I thought that was kind of cool here. We put an aftermarket radio in that we just get static from, so I'm guessing there's no antenna hooked up to it. It does have a VHS player, so that's kind of crazy. Who would have thought? Yeah. So, does have all three seats. The leather is not torn. Not even the driver's seat's got a small tear. I'll show it to you. It is dirty, so we're gonna have to condition it. So we got a tear there and a tear there. That's the only seat that's torn. It is a limited. So I'll pop the hood, show you guys the motor. We won't be starting on this one. I did hook up a scanner to it. He told us he had it for $4,500, somewhere around there, $4,500. And I didn't even look at it. And then he dropped it down to 2. Need some new hood struts. Dropped it down to 2. And put up, said it had 2 codes, EGR and circuit, cylinder 1 circuit issue. Cylinder 1 coil circuit issue. So that's what he said it as. It does run and drive. It does have a misfire. We are going to do some diagnosing with it. Might just spend a little bit of time diagnosing it, but it's not a current project. We want to finish some of the things ahead of time. My big concern was that he painted the roof black. I'm not sure. I think probably high damage. They had something strapped up there, and then I don't know what they thought was a good idea. And they put self-tapping screws all through this grill, and then put it some crappy paint. You can see that they didn't even scuff up the chrome. So another hack job. Headlights, not bad. They're a one piece, they're not factory. Does have the tow package. I think all Excursions came with the tow package just because of rear end collisions. They didn't want little cars going underneath them. So I think even with the V10, this is rated to tow like 11,000 pounds. Has aftermarket wheels, 17s. Not a fan of them. We're gonna clean them up, see how they look, but the wife wants to sell them and put on something else. Try to get a 33 or 34 inch wheel tire under there. But this is the Excursion. The body's fairly straight, no major damage, no rust. The exhaust has something to speak, but the exhaust on the early model V10s wasn't very good anyways. But yeah, this is something we're not sure what we're gonna do. Kind of see what you guys think. This is your guys' chance. Let us know. Should we just fix it and flip it, or should we do something else? You know, I've always, before we even thought about this one, I was thinking it'd be cool to get a V10 or Excursion and maybe do like a Ford Godzilla engine swap. That's kind of piqued my interest. A lot of people are doing the Godzilla motor in different vehicles, but I think that'd be perfect setup for this rig. The wife was asking about a Cummins swap, so that's another option. So 3 things, or actually I guess you could say there's 4. Do we keep it a V10 and do a comparison with the 6 liter and diesel Excursion? And we kind of already know the difference, but we could always do some playing around with the V10, throw a turbo or 2 under there, see what we can do with it. I don't think you're going to increase the efficiency very well, but I know that 7.3 and the 3/4 ton Fords, you know, people are getting 14 to 16 miles a gallon, so that's not too awful compared to what this thing probably gets. So comment down below, what do you guys think we should do? You know, do a Godzilla swap, do a Cummins swap, or just flip it, move on to something else. Again, we're going to fix our Excursion before we do anything to this. We got 2 more Land Rovers to fix, plus our Excursion, and then obviously got other projects around here. My son's going to be working on his Disco 2s, and probably going to fix our F450 before we do this as well. But it does run and drive, shifts through all the 4 gears. Just got a little misfire issue going on, so we might diagnose that just so we have a driving Excursion right now. If not, we'll just drive around the property. Yeah, let us know what you guys think. It could be fun. If you guys think it's worthwhile and we get enough responses, maybe we'll look at the Godzilla swap. I'm pretty impressed. I said I'd never buy another Triton gas engine, but after doing some research, the V10 is probably the most reliable. This one had the cylinder, this one had the issues where the spark plugs shoot out of the cylinder heads, but it was never plagued with the timing issues that the 5.4 was plagued with. So that's a plus. But I still think the Godzilla engine, I mean, there's a reason why Ford went back to a pushrod V8, specifically reliability issues, and they're getting more power out of that than this, and the efficiency is better. So, you know, just like LS stayed with the pushrod design, I say it'd be definitely fun to try a Godzilla swap. And I'm open for a Cummins swap. I'm going to probably price out both and kind of see, you know, how much we'd be looking at. But yeah, maybe we'll do some diagnosing on this video. Let us know down below. Should we keep it? Should we flip it? Should we do a Godzilla swap? Should we do a Cummins swap? Alright, so we're just doing some basic troubleshooting, seeing what works on this vehicle, what doesn't. And what we found out is, even though the 4-wheel drive indicator on the dash comes on and the 4-wheel drive switch is in 4-wheel drive, we do not have 4-wheel drive. We tried with the manual, switching the hubs to manual, still nothing. So it's probably something to do with the electronic transfer case solenoid. So we'll have to troubleshoot that at some point. Keep you guys posted. Again, the radio doesn't work. The DVD player doesn't work. I think the wife and kids are going to play with the DVD player, see if they can figure it out. Just as something to do. The windows, that little button's missing. I think they took the unlock button from the passenger door and put it in the driver's door, and now it is upside down. So yeah, just more hackery. Gotta love it. Looks like to put a Bluetooth kit in. It's got some nasty tree sap on it, on the paint. It's almost like spray foam, but it's tree sap. So we'll have to get that peeled off at some point. The wing windows work, so that's cool. The rear heater works, the front heater works, the AC blows moderately cool. We'll have to recharge. This display doesn't work, which is pretty common in the generation Fords. The display on the Excursion works, but it never lets you reset it. What else? Yeah, power mirrors work. So the headlights, brake lights work. The third brake light up above the hatch doesn't work. Oh yeah, so came with a boat inside them. I don't think the struts work on this door, which is fine because I always get the extended struts. It came with an air conditioner. We'll scrap that. Should get some money out of the copper. Yeah, even got the spare tire in place. Carpet's not bad. I mean, the interior's not that bad. We'll get it all fixed up and clean. Some interesting aftermarket brake lights. Don't know if I like them. All right. We'll move on to something else now. Well, I'm waiting for some paint to dry on a project for my son. So I couldn't just sit around and not do anything. So out of curiosity, I figured I'd take a look and see what I could find out. The one code that I was getting that showed up was coil circuit 1 faulty. So this one on the V10 on the passenger side is the odd number, so 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Passenger side's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I'm pretty sure it was this front cylinder that was giving us problems. So I went and took a look, and I found the clip to the coil was disconnected, and the coil was loose. Now, you might not be able to tell, that's the correct bolt that you should have in your coil. Hold on. That is, believe it or not, a self-tapping screw that some hacker threaded into it and ended up cracking the manifold. It's not sucking air. I should be able to fix it. It's pretty cheesy. So what I did is I put a zip tie around this connector, and then I swapped the plugs just to make sure. It's running Autolite plugs. I'm not a big fan of Autolite plugs. So swapped it from 1 to 3, put in number 3 spark plug here, just because this one, the one that came out of here, was pretty fouled looking because it wasn't firing. Yeah, I knew this coil was working, so I went ahead and swapped it, put a zip tie on this, and took for a test drive. And believe it or not, I don't have the coil circuit issue anymore. That code's gone away. Now I have a misfire on, if I remember right, 5, 2, and 10. So just give you an idea. But it does run. The battery needs to be replaced. Oh, look at that. 20. So that's what, almost 11 years old. So that's pretty good for a battery. Just pretty low amperage right now. So good news. We fixed the coil issue. I'm going to come up with something better. I think I couldn't find a wiring harness. I don't know if I can find a replacement one. If I can't, then I'll see if I can just find the clips, because I went through and looked, and I don't know if it's easier on the driver's side. No, but if you look, every one of those have a zip tie holding the coil connector onto the coil. So looks like every one of them just about is broken. So I'm just going to double check the other cylinders and make sure they didn't fall off, and look for anything obvious to see if I can get rid of the misfire and go from there. But I figured I'd give you guys an update. Again, this is on the V10 Excursion we just purchased. $1,800, clean title. From what the person we bought it from, it's his father-in-law's. He used to drive it back and forth to Tijuana. So that's the history of it. Probably a lot of highway miles. So just going to take a look at these real quick while I'm waiting to get back in my shop. Actually, I'll show you. My youngest son is painting a creeper frame. So this is a creeper that my dad used, and he gave it to us. So my son just sanded it down. He's painting it. The wheels were busted up, so he ordered new wheels. So he's just restoring a creeper. So thought it was pretty cool of him. He took the initiative. He did the sanding and learning how to paint. It isn't a perfect paint job, but you know how this creeper's going to get scratched up pretty quick. But yeah, we'll have new wheels on it. Be able to roll around nice. But while I'm waiting for that paint to dry, figured I'd tinker around with this. And so let me dig in there a little bit more, check the other coils, see if there is something simple. See if we can get all 10 cylinders to fire off on this thing. Take it for a test drive. There's no check engine light. That's the funny thing. I have no check engine light, just stored codes. I'll put them up on the screen here of the 3 cylinders that are misfiring. Misfires. And what I noticed is if I hold my RPM steady at a certain, like at idle, like if parked, and I hold it up steady around 1800 RPMs, it's smooth, there's no misfires. I can watch the counter and nothing increases. If I give it gas, it does, and at idle it does. So it's a misfire that comes and goes. So it could just be crappy plugs. So probably the first thing I would do once I check all these coils and connectors is replace all the plugs with some nice quality plugs and go from there. But yeah, give you guys an update on our running and driving $1,800 V10 Excursion 4x4. Okay, so we just did a test drive. I'll go over what I found. So what we did, we had misfire on 2, 5, and 10. On 5, the coil was disconnected, so I reconnected it. On 10, the spark plug was loose. It was hand tight, so I cleaned everything out, reinserted that. On 2, I swapped the coil between 2 and 3, and just to see after I cleaned everything out. So we just took it for a test drive after doing that, and we still got misfire. But I'm using my Autel so I can do the cylinder contribution test. You kind of see we're dipping down there around 5 for sure, 6 maybe. It's hard to tell. We go ahead and clear it, and then I'll kind of change the RPM. She starts bouncing around. So I didn't mess with 6 at all, but 5, that was the one that was disconnected completely. So I'm thinking I might swap the coil out around with that one and see if it makes a difference. But all right, so now we're gonna go in and check for codes. We don't have any check engine light on, but it's only done one warm-up cycle. So we're gonna check codes and see if we have any misfires detected, and we'll go from there. Okay, so looks like we are getting misfires on 5 and 6, just like the cylinder balance test. So we got rid of the ones on 2 and 10, so that's a good thing. Don't know why 6 is acting up. We didn't get that before, but we'll take a look. I'll probably swap coils on 5 and take a look at 6 to see if there was anything out of the ordinary. All right, guys, so got to record this part of it. Give you an update. We had misfires on 5 and 6. Checked out 6 first. Go figure, spark plug wasn't tight. So we tightened it back up. Came over here to number 5. So front of the engine, driver's side or passenger side, we got 1, 2, and 3. First, you can see the ridiculous number of zip ties, and then I'll circle over there. You see that? She's a little broken. I wonder if that's why they had that bolt wedged in there, pushing it down. Because we found a bolt wedged in there, and now you can see that's our coil. Let me zoom out a little bit. So, who would have thought, huh? Mr. Hackery at his best. So it'll need a new coil. We'll see if we can wedge something in there just to test and see if that's all it is. All right, guys, let us figure something out here, and maybe we'll go for another test drive before it gets dark. Sun's going down. All right, I think I'm done with this for now. We're running out of daylight, and so I'm gonna recap so you guys know what's going on. We got it hooked up the scanner, and it said a circuit issue with cylinder 1 coil. That's this front one right up here. Found it unplugged, plugged it back in, ran it, took it for a test drive. Still had misfires. Checked the codes. Had misfire on 2, 5, and 10. 5 was disconnected, so I reconnected it. Didn't pay much attention to it. There's like 30,000 zip ties on there. And then 6, just swapped the coils, but I swapped it to 3, and I didn't lose anything. So I'm thinking there's so much debris to stuff down into these spark plug holes, like pine cone shavings and stuff, pieces. I think that it wasn't letting the coil seat onto the plug very well. Did the same thing to number 10. Number 10 was hand tight, and then you have to take a wrench to take it out. Reseated that, cleaned it out, reseated it, took it for a test drive, and we had misfires now on 1 and 5 and 6. Checked 6, and the spark plug wasn't tight. So retightened that, and was looking at number 5 and found the coil was broken. So they had a piece of metal wedged underneath it. What I did is I took 3 out. That's the broken one there, and I put it in 5 just to see if that's the issue. I also noticed on the coil boot, it looks like some blow by. So I was thinking maybe the spark plug wasn't seated all the way. It wasn't very tight. So I pulled the spark plug out, and it looks like this one has been helicoiled. I don't think it was done right either. The helicoil came out with the spark plug. Don't think it's supposed to do that. So we got a broken coil, which I put on 3 and got it to work. I wedged this whole piece of aluminum under there to keep pressure on it. I'm not getting any codes. I didn't take it for test drive, but just doing a power balance, I can see 5 is still being affected. So I'm guessing, I know the coil's good, could be a faulty plug. I bet they never changed it because of that. Maybe that's what broke the coils when the spark plug came out. Don't know for sure, but that's where we're sitting at now. So I don't have stuff to do the inserts. I think there's some good ones out there because they had a lot of experience with these when they came out of rethreading them. It's pretty common for dealerships to have to do that. So and I think if done right, the insert, helicoil insert, is actually stronger than the factory threads. So I'm going to do some research. At least we got down to 1 cylinder misfire, and we're pretty sure I know why, because we're not getting good compression on that spark plug seat. So either way, I need to buy a new coil, 10 new plugs because I don't trust them. Then I clean everything out. I'll get 10 new coil connectors because I don't want to deal with these zip ties. We'll solder in new connectors, replace the 1 coil, and pull all the plugs, replace those, and thread that one on number 5. There may be other ones too, but I'll get the kit. So if we do find that it was incorrectly done, then we can do it. But so that's going to be it for this excursion today. Like I said, this kind of, I was waiting on paint to dry, so I can't sit around and wait. Started messing with it. Curiosity got me, and figured out a lot of little things. Luckily, I think we've solved most of our misfires except for the one, and we've identified that one. So I feel pretty good about that. Again, this one is probably going to park and sit for a little bit. Might drive it around the property if I need to haul stuff down back and forth to a shed or the shop to the house. Fire it up. But yeah, I don't plan on working on it until we get some other things done. Thinking I should probably give you guys an update on all our vehicles. We've got quite the fleet here, but this one's going to sit and wait, and we got 2 Land Rovers we need to finish. Got to get my Excursion back together. Finally got a lot of parts in for that, so we're going to start that one after I fix that blue Land Rover, and then get that Excursion done, and then we're going to work on that black one. So if my wife wants to keep it, we'll sell hers and get that one going. And then my son's got two discos he's going to be building, and then I got my friend's F-150 that I got to help him with. So going to be busy. We're going into the new year here soon, and we got lots on our plate, so shouldn't have a shortage of projects, and we'll just keep on moving forward. Leave a comment below. What do you guys think we should do with this Excursion? Should we keep it a V10? Should we flip it? Should we do a Godzilla swap or a Cummins swap? Let us know. Comments below, and depending on what kind of interest we get, will probably help us determine what we're going to do with it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.